Hello, everyone, and welcome to Embrace Behavior Change. Last week, Friday, my husband and I, we landed back into our home country of the U.S. Little did we know that we would end up in this place where we are dealing yet again with this issue of police brutality against our beloved African American men. I wanted to share a letter with you that I wrote to the Chief of Police of Chatham, Virginia in October of 2014 when my son was leaving my home to go to the U.S. For boarding school. I had a lot of fear back then, not of what would happen to him at school, but the fact that he was returning to a state and a city that may not be used to seeing a young man, African American man in that town. So I didn't know what to do. And I was afraid, just in case if he walked off campus, how would he be seen, how would he be viewed, and what might happen to him by the hands of the police. So in October 2014, I wrote these words and I wanted to share them with you. I said, "Dear Chief Wright, given the unfortunate killings of unarmed African American boys at the hands of a few misguided law enforcement officers around the country, I feel compelled to say to you, in the unlikely event you find my son in the right place at the wrong time, I kindly ask that you treat him with all due respect by affording him the opportunity to be judged in court rather than sentenced by your bullet. I want you to know that I appreciate what you're doing to uphold the law in Chatham, as well as the sacrifices your families endure each time you go out to work. I also want you to know that I'm praying for your safety and for God to grant you the wisdom to discern each law enforcement situation that arises." Here we are, 6 years later, and it still continues. The disregard for African American lives. The other day, my son called me, my oldest son, who I wrote this letter on behalf of him. And he asked me the question that I basically was trying to articulate to this chief. What is it going to take? Do I need to write this letter to you? And I'm willing to write this letter to you to let you know my son is a person. My son is like your son. My son called me this week and asked me, have I been seeing what is going on? He said, "Mom, why don't white people think, speak up for us?" Folks, parents, we need to deal with this issue. And I know there are so many levels that it needs to be worked on. But it begins in the home. And I want to challenge parents today, listen to your kids, because I had to listen to mine, and we were on the phone together, two of my sons, we were on the phone together talking, and each one handling it in his different way. And what I realize is this is a time to learn. This is a time to listen, to hear from our kids. And parents, I want to just tell you, it is not okay to say violence is not the answer. Our kids are hurting. Me, I'm hurting. And I told my son, If I were there, I feel like I would burn the whole police station down, because it's not working for us. And I need you parents to understand that if your kids are talking about violence, I need for you to listen. And then let's talk about this. Let's talk this through. But don't negate their anger. I wish I had a well laid out talk for you today, but I don't. It hurts. It hurts. I think what hurts the most to me is that I know that when white people look at us on TV, they don't see us. They don't see who we are. And that can't be changed by a system. That has to be changed by behavior. So I just want to encourage you. Perhaps you are a white parent, and I don't think you need to feel shame at this point. Or what I want to do is encourage you to come at the end of the month and let's talk. Let's talk and figure out how to talk to your kid, how to be a role model, how to care about African Americans.